It's your boy JYD checking in live from the Terrible Drawing Room. Just want to, of course, start off by saying, as I always do, thank you so much to everybody who has subscribed and hit that notification bell. We are just under 500 subs away from our 8,000 subscriber goal. So thank y'all so much, man, for all of the love and support, and for everybody who's been here, whether you comment, share, like, or anything, man. And I just found out that you could leave these super chat donation things and videos, which some people left, which was super dope, man. Thank y'all so much for that. Literally hit the notification. They were like, oh damn, people can do that. That was like super dope. So thank y'all for that too. But all in all, I appreciate y'all, man, because no one has to donate or give anything to any of this. So thank you so much, so much, man. I really love and appreciate y'all. That being said, we're jumping right into it. This is your sign to start boxing, even if you are a late starter. I know there's this huge stigma in boxing, and I don't even want to say in the boxing community. I really want to say like a lot of keyboard warrior, casual fans and people like that. They try to make it seem like, oh, because you started late, you can only go but so far, and oh, you if these people been doing this since they were 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, you're not gonna be as good as them. You're not gonna know as much as them. That's false. That is 110% false. Just because you started late at something does not mean that you're not going to be good at it. Does not mean that you're not going to be world class at it. It doesn't mean any of that. It just means, yes, you do have a lot of ground to cover, but you need to dedicate yourself to covering it if that's what you want to do. Yes, boxing is not only just for you to become a pro or to become world class. I think everyone should learn how to box or some form of self-defense, because you need to learn to defend yourself outside of just firearms. You need to learn how to defend yourself. That's man, woman, child, and anything else that you might see or see yourself as or identify as. You need to learn how to defend yourself 110%. Also, they have, if you are someone who is looking to start boxing and you're in later age and you don't want to go pro, but you still want to, feel what it feels to compete, they have masters leagues and things like that you can join up and sign into in your city under USA Boxing, and you can absolutely go on ahead and go through the ropes of learning how to box and actually competing and getting accolades, etc. with that. So you can 110% do that as well. But specifically talking to people who have dreams and goals of becoming a world champion, of becoming a world-class fighter, boxer, and everything to that level, no, you're not too late to do it at all. You will 100% get people tell you, oh, it's too late for you. Oh, you're not going to be good enough because you haven't been doing it long enough, and people been doing this since they was kids. You're not going to know enough. They're going to be... That's not true. That is absolutely, for 110% not true. I started boxing when I was 23 years old, and I turned pro when I was 26. I just turned 30 last year. I'm 14-0, 13 knockouts and 1 draw. I've been in multiple world-class camps. I've sparred countless world-class fighters, and every single one of them that I've ever been in camp with or worked with can tell you and will tell you that boy can fight, because I can. But not only can I fight, I can box, and they're not the same thing. Being able to box and being able to fight are not the same thing at all, but I can do both, and that is a great skill to have, but it comes with a lot of discipline and dedication. Yes, you will have to have a job, especially if you're starting late. You will 110% need to have a job. Why? Because boxing, especially when you start off late, and you don't have those nationals and not golden gloves, but nationals and Olympics and XYZ, things like that, under your belt, it is not a game that you're going to start off playing and they're going to be paying, unless you are a B-side fighter and you're just brought in to build up A-side fighters, and you got a long, rough road ahead of you of getting beat up for, what some would consider as a lot of money, whether $5,000 or $10,000 and things like that, depending on what level you even make it to. Hey, to some people that's a lot of money. Who knows? If that's the route you're looking at, then do you. But if you are trying to be an independent fighter, like I currently am. I'm currently independent. Me, my dad, my team, we do this all from the muscle, all of it. You are not going to be making any money, especially starting off. It's just not going to happen like that. It's not. Um, but if you're doing it for the money, you're doing it for the wrong reasons anyway. You need to do it for the love of the game, for the love of the sport, and understanding that money is going to come down the line. It's not going to come right now, but it's going to come down the line, and it'll be worth it, because when people can see that you are really skilled and talented and can fight and are knowledgeable and understand the game the way that you do when you properly execute and dedicate your life and your time to the sport, then yes, someone eventually is going to pick you up. Now, when, I can't tell you that, but I do know that eventually someone's going to pick you up. And in this day and age of social media, even if someone doesn't pick you up, you can absolutely capitalize off your social media page and presence and build your own catalog to where as though you are building your name up higher and higher and bigger to where as though everyone knows you and you will be independent. And then by the time it is time for them to sign you, you can have a more so of a say in what your contract looks like, because you know that you put eyes on screens and you put behinds in seats. And that's what's the most important thing. Being able to produce, put eyes on screens, and be able to put butts in seats. That is where the money comes in at. So there's absolutely an avenue for late starters. And just understand, when you do start late, people will tell you you can't do it. And they will give you a bunch of reasons why you can't do it. And all of those reasons are why they can't do it. It only applies to you if you allow it to apply to you. It only applies to you if you allow it to apply to you. Don't. You are absolutely going to have to sacrifice your social life. If you start late, you're going to have to sacrifice your social life. You're going to have to. Understand the people who started early, they also, chances are, sacrifice their social life too. But you are definitely going to have to sacrifice your social life, because you have so much ground to cover. And on top of that, you still going to have to keep a 9-to-5 job or whatever your schedule is, whether overnight, mid-shape, whatever it is. You're going to have to have a job, because you're going to have to need those bills to be paid. If you have the wife or a girlfriend or a boyfriend or a husband or whatever, you're going to have to understand that y'all are going to have to sacrifice a lot of quality time with each other, because you're going to have to be in the gym and you're going to have to be training hard and doing all of those things to make up the ground and to really cover the ground that you need to cover. And understand that, hey, if you're going to be with me while I'm doing this, this is for the long, this right here is the long game. This ain't the short game. We're not getting instant gratification from this. This is the long game. So yeah, y'all are going to be going on a lot less dates. And if he or she can't take that, then that's your decision. Either stop boxing or stop being with them. But if they can ride this wave with you and say, you know what, you're doing this, you're doing this with a serious goal in mind, and you taking this sport seriously. You're not just, I'm gonna go to the gym once or twice a week when I feel like it. No. That's not going to do it. You need to be in the gym every day. You need to be training every day. You need to properly go home. And that's why I said you're not going to be able to have a social life. Because when you leave the gym, you got to go home and properly rest and recover and eat and sleep and study and do what you need to do in order to get better in this sport. You're going to have to do those things. There's no way around it. So no, you're not going to be able to be at all of the family events or be able to be with your friends chilling on the block or clubbing or partying or playing a game every day or whatever it is that you used to do. You're going to have to choose. And that's the thing about this. You have to choose. You can't do both. There is no being halfway in and halfway out, especially if you start late. There is no being halfway in and being halfway out. You have to obsess over this if you want to get to the world-class level. And I know it sounds crazy, but it is crazy. And you may have to be a little bit crazy in order to do it. It's the truth, because the human body wasn't made to be beat on how boxers and fighters are beat on, but we train ourselves to harden our bodies and our minds, etc., in order to be able to take and give this type of punishment and do it day in and day out, where we train for this. And you chilling with your boys or doing all the extra stuff. No, when you get off home, when you go home from work, you gotta go to sleep and get some rest and get ready to go to the gym. And then after you leave the gym, you gotta go home and get you some rest, wash up, take you a quick little hour nap or something, and then go back to work and repeat that cycle over and over again. And I'm not telling you anything that I haven't done. I was a trash man. When I first started off, and my savings ran out, I had got a job at Chick-fil-A. I was working there up until the Rona happened. That happened, boom, things slowed down. I still was training, still doing what I had to do. Then after that, I was a trash man for about 2 or so years. I just recently stopped my job as a trash man. I was a trash man for about 2.5 years. And my trash job was overnight. So I worked overnight, went home, went to sleep, woke up, went to the gym, and then got out of the gym, went home, went to sleep, went to work, and then repeated that cycle over and over again. Home, gym, work, home, gym, work, home, gym, work, home, gym, work, nonstop. That's all I did every day. And that's all I still do till this day. And then I eventually started doing content creation, which people, damn, how you doing all of that? Because I don't have a life. My life is gym, homework, content creation. That's it. I don't have a life. My life is being in the house and doing what I gotta do and going to work. I don't have a social life. I don't buy things. I don't know. I don't do that. I don't party. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't club. I don't fraternize really. No, unless it's involving boxing, I just don't do it. Unless it involves connections or doing something that's building my brand, I don't do it. And you have to understand, when you are starting late, your life is going to have to become boring. I don't want to paint this picture that this is just some cool, glorious life that I'm living. It's not. It is boring and it is hard work. It's hard, but I don't think about it. I don't think about if it's hard or not. I just do it. I get up every day and I do it, because once you start thinking about it, that's when you start coming up with excuses and making deals for yourself. And like, oh, well, if I don't do it today, then I do. No, there is none of that. If you are going to be doing this, you need to do this every day, consistently, nonstop. You have to do this every day. Don't think about if it's hard. Just because it's difficult, just because it's hard, that don't mean that you don't do it. That just means you tell yourself, man, so what? Get it done. Get it done. Get it done. That's the only way around it. If you want to have a social life, boxing might not be for you. If you want to dedicate all your time to your girlfriend or boyfriend, your partner, boxing might not be for you. If you can't manage home gym work and only do that, if you can't manage to do that and I'm bored, I'm depressed, I'm miserable, I'm this, not putting down anybody's mental health, but if you can't do that day in and day out without going through all of that stuff, then boxing might not be for you. And I'm being honest with you, because trust and believe me, as crazy as it sounds, home gym work and not having that big of a social life, almost no social life, that's really the least of your worries, believe it or not. That's really the easy part. If I'm being honest with you, it's really the easy part. Those are the easy things to sacrifice. So you have to prepare yourself for what's better. Why? Because you're never going to get to anywhere you're never going to get to new places by doing what you're used to doing. You are where you are because you're used to doing the things that you're doing. If you're trying to get somewhere new, you gotta try something new. And new is scary, and new is uncomfortable, and new looks crazy to those who are outside looking in. And that's why you do it. You do it because it's crazy. You do it because those people are telling you, no, bro, I wouldn't do that if I was you, man. No, ain't no money in that. Ain't no guarantee, bro. You ain't been doing this your whole life. You're not gonna be this. And that's why you do it. That's why you do it. You do it for all of those reasons why they say that you shouldn't do it. You do it because when you wake up every morning knowing that this is what you got to do, it makes you scared. It makes you scared. And that's why you should do it. Because if you're scared, you're uncomfortable. And if you're uncomfortable, then that means you got to be doing something right. Something got to be being done right if you're uncomfortable. Because learning is uncomfortable. And dedicating your life to something new, that is also very uncomfortable. So please, don't listen to what they say. I get it all the time. Oh, you could probably be a good local fighter, but on a world-class level, it's so much different. That don't apply to me. That don't apply to me. And the same world-class guys that you talking about that you know, they know who I am, and they also know I can fight, and I've also probably been in their camps and worked with them and everything, and they tell you, no, you can fight. Shout out to Antonio Tarver, man. When I met even Antonio Tarver, him and Winky Wright, when I met them over in Vegas, Antonio Tarver, man, he showed me so much love and was like, man, no, it ain't no next up, man. You right now, and you one of them ones. You gonna be a world champion. You one of them ones. Antonio Tarver showed me so much love, man, and for him to be one of my favorite fighters to watch when I actually started studying boxing. And Winky Wright, man, they'll both tell you I damn near lost my mind meeting Winky Wright. That's my brother's favorite. That's my brother's like favorite fighter, dog. I studied Winky Wright so much it don't make no sense, man. Beautiful jab, beautiful defense, everything. Not super flashy, but my God will execute you off a jab and beautiful base defense. And people think because you're not flashy you can't be successful. That's false. Look at Winky Wright. The love that I got and that I get from so many legends and icons and stars in this sport is crazy because I dedicate myself to this craft. Don't let nobody tell you that you can't do that, dog. Dedicate yourself to it. Let them talk. I don't gotta prove nothing to nobody. My work speaks for itself, inside and outside of the ring. I don't got